We're live? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh no, this can't be. How are we live already? I didn't mean to go live. I was only reaching for my phone. I wasn't trying to go live yet. What the crap? Oh lord. Now what will I do? Look, we're live and I didn't mean to go live yet. I wasn't trying to go live just yet. What am I gonna do? What will I do? What am I gonna do? Um well, welcome to Super Divorce on YouTube. Anyhow, even though I wasn't trying to do this yet. We weren't trying to get set up. I wasn't. I didn't have the. I didn't have anything set up. I didn't have this tripod set up. I didn't have the proper thing pulled up on my computer yet. This is bad. I wasn't trying to do this, guys. Well, um, this is Vilars. This is Nicholas. This is Nick. Any name will do, as those go. So thank you for joining me this evening. This is Super Divorce's YouTube channel. We are a synth pop band. We have an album out right now. It is called Action Figures. It looks like this on vinyl. Well, it's true. It looks like this on vinyl, but this is not the vinyl. It looks like this on compact disc. That's what it is. Hey, we got someone here. What's up? How you doing tonight? How's it going? We're going to talk about Star Wars a little bit, but I was just running through our intro here, as I do every time. Please check us out on Spotify, Super Divorce. Follow us there. Listen to our album Action Figures. If you like it, then maybe you want to pick up a copy on CD or a cassette tape, a vinyl record. It's all available at superdivorceme.com. You can also check out our podcast there and a blog and other knickknacks and artifacts. So yeah. So now right here we are on YouTube. We're trying to go live every day. We're going live every day. We're doing it. We're doing it as well as doing some new videos for you. Yeah. So subscribe, please. We're at just over 150. We're at 151 right now. So if we were to drink our subscriber count, let me tell you, we'd be, whew, yeah, boy. Please subscribe. Please like this video. Give it a like. Give it a like. That'd be good. Like this video. Comment on it. You can comment live if you join the video live. Chat. Send your comments this way. Hey, thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers to you. Cheers to you with this Great Lakes Elliott Ness Amber Lager. Thank you. Cheers to you, sir or madam. And so yeah, so let's not waste too much time here. I wanted to talk a little bit about Star Wars tonight. Seeing as we have just recently launched a new video series called Sequential Star Wars, where we're starting with Episode 1, and we're going to act as if Episode 1 is the first Star Wars movie that we've ever seen, and we're going to allow this universe to be built up from Episode 1 onwards, and we're going to be trying to make sense of these movies given that approach. And it's pretty fun. It's an interesting concept. If you've not listened to either of the first two episodes of that, they're beefy. They're beefy episodes. The first one was 2 hours long, and then the second was 3 hours long. So that's a good deal of content for you, if that's what you're looking for. So since we're talking about Star Wars fairly often on this channel now, I wanted to discuss the big news of the day, and that of course is that Billy D. Williams, Mr. Lando Calrissian himself, will be coming back to Star Wars for Episode 9. We don't know exactly what he's going to be doing, but he will be there. Billy D. is coming back, and this could go wonderfully, or it could be awful. they could disrespect him the way that they have disrespected all the other characters from the original trilogy. But we'll find out. We'll find out, won't we? And I found a good, I don't know if I'd call it good. I found an article that we should maybe check out here. This article comes from the Hollywood Reporter, and it says, "Why Lando Calrissian's Star Wars future won't go the way you think." And I'm interested to find out why it won't go the way we think. Let's see if we can find out why. Look, there's Lando right there. Is he? He doesn't look like this anymore. He's not looking quite like this anymore. He's looking like that these days. So maybe if you thought he was going to look like this, it surely would not go the way that you thought, because Billy D. Williams, he's not aged as well as some people. I mean, he looks happy, so that's good. But you think of Lando as the sort of the old smoothie womanizer, right? Well, I don't know if he's going to be womanizing anyone in episode 9. Maybe if they cut to the retirement home, that's possible. He could be just killing it at the retirement home. But if not, then we're just gonna have to remember him fondly like this, like you do when you see pictures of your grandparents when they were young. You think about their heyday, right? And you look back and you smile, and it's like, well, that was nice. I'm glad that he got to experience his time as a youthful, handsome man. But that's not the case now. That's not Billy D. Williams 2018. Billy D. Williams 2018, Episode 9, Billy D. Williams. Episode 9, Lando. Let's read what they have to tell us. Why Lando Calrissian's Star Wars future won't go the way we think. And we'll find out. If the sequel trilogy has proven one thing, it's that it loves to defy fan theories. Well, I wouldn't say that it's been the trilogy. It's really Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi was all about defying fan theories. This was kind of the driving force behind Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi. He said as much. He tries to talk about telling the story that needed to be told. So Richard Newby. The sequel trilogy is not. It's not proven this. The sequel trilogy has not proven that it's about one thing. Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi proved that it was about one thing, and that was defying fan theories by telling everyone that he was going to tell the story that needed to be told without fans in mind. He was not writing for the fans. He wasn't writing with fans in mind. He wasn't worried about fan service or making anyone happy or any of this stuff. He wanted to tell the story that needed to be told, and the fans were the furthest thing from his mind. He had no thought put in that direction. But if you let him ramble on for a few more minutes, he will also tell you that he wanted to defy and subvert fan expectations. So to me, in mind, you were only writing the story that needed to be written, telling the story that needed to be told, without fans even being a blip on your radar. But then you will also have no problem telling people that you wanted to subvert everyone's expectations and defy fan theories. He even admitted that there were plenty of great Star Wars stories that had been told over the years, but he didn't want to tell any of those. That wouldn't have been Rian Johnson's Star Wars, so he couldn't do that. Anyway, Richard Newby, now that we've cleared that up, let's continue on. Let's see what else you have to say. So you might want to buckle up, baby. Additional casting for J.J. Abrams' Star Wars Episode 9 is reaching light speed and bringing with it some new faces like Kerry Russell in an undisclosed role, and the long-awaited return, the return of Billy D. Williams' Lando Calrissian, not Childish Gambino, Don Glover, not him. The news broke Monday of Williams' return to the Star Wars film franchise, something fans have been clamoring for since his absence in The Force Awakens in 2015. Well, this is another, we're just continuing to pepper in. We're going to pepper in characters from the original trilogy rather than bring them all together when we had the chance in The Force Awakens. That was a bumble. That was a fumble. And that was a big mistake. I think people would have people would have loved that. People would have loved to have seen the original trilogy's cast reunited, and at least for 5 minutes. You couldn't have given us 5 minutes. And we'll never get that chance now. We will never have the chance to get the original band back together, as Mark Hamill said. And that's too bad. But you can pepper things in. Let's pepper in some Lando Calrissian for some flavoring in Episode 9. While Williams has voiced Lando in many of Star Wars' animated and video game iterations over the years, he hasn't appeared as the character in the flesh since 1983's Return of the Jedi. The former smuggler played a key role in this year's Solo, a Star Wars story, or like the shirt that I have, Soilo, a Soy Wars story, where he was portrayed by Donald Glover, regarded by many as a high point in the film. I don't know. Regarded by many as a high point in the film. I don't know if I agree with that. I haven't really heard anyone talk about any high points in the Solo movie. So I don't know. You're fluffing up your article a little bit, sir. Solo explored the future Rebel pilot's first encounter with Han Solo, including an explanation of how he lost the fabled Millennium Falcon, setting up the history between the two that comes into play in The Empire Strikes Back from 1980. Sadly, all interaction between Han and Lando resides in the past, as Solo tragically met his end at the hands of his son Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens. Still, Lando's presence will certainly be welcome as the Resistance find itself at its smallest since its beginning, and in need of heroes to turn the tide against the First Order. That is, assuming he returns a hero. And if Han is any indication, he will not return a hero, because Han returned to his smuggling ways when we saw him in Episode 7. So we have no reason to believe that Lando has not also returned to form as a sort of rapscallion himself. Continuing. Lando's inclusion in Episode 9 will find the character in an interesting position, with Han and Luke dead, and Leia presumably absent. Whatever is Soilo, hold on, whatever is Soilo, I'm out of that loop, Barroom Buffer says. Soilo is a name that was going around to sort of poke fun at the Solo film. It's a play on the sort of soy. What do you call that? I don't know if you've heard of a soy boy. It's kind of like that. It's like a watered down sort of soy version of Han Solo. It's not really Han Solo. If you watch the movie, you will see that the actor that they got, what was it? Alden Ehrenreich. He is no Harrison Ford. He is no Han Solo. He is a milquetoast. Yes, very on the nose. Yes, so it's a soy version of Solo. It's not the real thing. It is the difference between a thick, juicy hamburger and a flat, pressed, overcooked soy burger. It's not good. It's not good. I can tell you firsthand, it is. It's not good. If you can catch it, maybe at a Dollar Saver theater, it might be worth going out and watching. But it'll probably be on Netflix next month or sometime very soon, I would imagine. It's not going to be. It won't be too long before it's out to purchase or to rent. If you have a family video nearby, you could even go old school and go out and pick it up that way. But Alan Alda. Yeah, you know what? Alan Alda would have been better. I would have rather seen a Han Solo movie starring Alan Alda. Yeah, no, I want an Alan Alda movie where he stars as Han Solo. Maybe that's what they can do next. Let's reboot the solo films, and let's put Alan Alda in there to play Han Solo. I think that'll be just perfect. That'll be great. So yeah, great suggestion. That's wonderful. Let's at Disney. Let's at J.J. Abrams. Let's at Kathleen Kennedy. Everyone involved in the current Star Wars productions in that universe at Disney. Let's really show them that we want to make Alan Alda the new Han Solo. And I think that we might be able to get things back on track that way. So let's get on that. Thank you for double likes. Okay, so where were we here? Yeah, so they regarded supposedly the Donald Glover's portrayal as the high point in Solo. Though there weren't really any. Sadly, yeah, that we got that. Yeah, we talked about him returning a hero. So Lando's inclusion in Episode 9 will find the character in an interesting position, with Han and Luke dead, and Leia presumably absent following the death of actress Carrie Fisher. No problem. I'm big on sidebars. I don't mind going on a good sidebar. I will visit the sidebar all evening if I have to, because it is an open bar usually when you go to the sidebar. I kind of have to pull myself away from the sidebar sometimes, or else I never get back to what would we call it? Not the my dinner table. I don't know. The dinner table of the video. I leave the dinner table of the video and go and visit the sidebar sometimes, and I can stay there for too long. So, but I'm glad you met me at the sidebar. That was good. That was a good drink. Thank you for that. So presumably, Leia will presumably be absent following the death of actress Carrie Fisher. I think we can presume that. I think we could presume that Carrie Fisher won't be in Episode 9. I think that that's a safe presumption that we could make. Unless they want to do a CG version, like they did for the Tron sequel. He's going to be dead. Yeah, that could be. Those are decent odds, you know. Lando is the only central human character from the original trilogy who can still join the fight, and I guess that makes him also the only central human character from the original trilogy who can still betray the heroes in the new movie. He's the only human character from the original trilogy who can still have his legacy tarnished further by the new Star Wars films. He provides a link to the past and a history that began long before our current generation of heroes, Rey, Finn, and Poe, were born. Yeah, that's true. The sequel trilogy has quite admirably dealt with the past. Have they? The sequel trilogy has quite admirably dealt with the past. This is that's a bold bold claim by Richard Newby. Hey, Dick, um, I don't think that this is true because, well, first of all, you never allowed us to see that that past come together properly. We didn't get a proper send off for Han Solo, in my opinion. We didn't get a proper send off for Luke, you know. And what are you gonna do with Leia? I don't know. I don't know. But it seems like no one is getting a proper send off. The stories that they've given the characters in the sequel trilogy, in my opinion, have been pretty bad and not admirable. So, Dick, Dick Newby, I don't think that you are correct here. Um, you have not you have not anchored it to perception and myth while refraining from name dropping and over reliance on fan service in regard to classic characters. The problem with the sequel trilogy is that they have not anchored it to the new trilogy. They have not anchored the old trilogy to the sequel trilogy, as it were. They've done a horrible job with that. And that's why no one cares about Rey. No one cares about Finn. No one cares about Kylo Ren. No one cares about Rose Tico. They've done an awful job anchoring the original trilogy to the sequel trilogy, to this newest iteration of Star Wars, because they've done away with all the original characters too quickly. They never allowed the proper time for those characters to sort of pass the torch. It was all hurried. Let's kill the past. That was the whole theme of The Last Jedi. And they did it successfully. They killed the past and they turned off a lot of fans in the process. But of course, if you don't like the new movies, it's not because the movies are bad. It's because something's wrong with you. It's because you are an overgrown man baby, as the director of The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson, called fans who are voicing their criticisms online, which is of course what you want to do. You don't want to take criticism in stride or allow people to have their opinions. You want to tell them that they're man babies, and you want to call them neckbeards and fanboys. They've only kept this thing alive for close to 40 years. But that's fine. You know, drive those people away and see if the people who went out and watched this sequel trilogy once will keep it alive much longer. Let's put that on their shoulders. Much of Abrams and Rian Johnson's Star Wars films have dealt with the failures of the older generation and their incapability to replace their true selves with the fantastic stories that are told about them throughout the galaxy. Yeah, they've just tried to denigrate the older generation by not giving them proper send-offs and by not giving their stories the care and the attention that they should have, handling them in a way where it would have made it possible for them to properly pass the torch to a new generation of fans, a new generation of characters. No one cares about these new characters. That's why they have to scramble now to try and get Billy D. Williams to come back, because he's the only thing really that they've got left to go to. They've blown their wads in respect to all of the other characters that people loved. So, in other words, we've seen these icons presented as humans rather than legends. Not only humans, we've seen them presented as ineffectual humans. We're sort of exposed as frauds, as people that you shouldn't have bought into in the first place. That seems to be the message of the new movies. We've seen Han and of the many over the few. I don't know if they're talking about the secret plan of Holdo in The Last Jedi, and allowing her to sacrifice herself. I don't know, whatever. And Luke give in to his fear of failure and hasty decision making. Not only this, no, he didn't just give in to his fear of failure and hasty decision making. He was about to murder his nephew in his sleep. because he was frightened of what Ben Solo, his nephew, might do. He saw power in him that could be used for darkness, for evil, and he decided to kill him in the night. Because that's what Luke Skywalker would do. Luke Skywalker, whose father was Darth Vader, and he refused to kill. He saved Darth Vader from the dark side after everything that Vader had done. We're not talking about a guy who might do some bad things, and we're talking about a guy who was Darth Vader, and Luke saved him. But because his nephew had some inklings of darkness in him, he was going to murder him in his sleep. That's something that someone who's never trained as a Jedi might do. That might be a preventative measure that someone with absolutely no self-control would do. To look at their nephew and say, I don't like the you got a few sort of tics in your personality that kind of make me think at some point you might do something bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna slice you up with my lightsaber while you're asleep. While I'm supposed to be training you as a Jedi, I'm gonna cut your head off while you're napping. I hope you don't mind, because I'm just doing this for your good. I'm doing this for the good of the galaxy. And if I do this, if I just kill my nephew in his sleep, then that'll make sure that the Sith will never rise again, right? No. Nope. That's a bad story. That's betraying Luke's character. That's horrible writing. While it doesn't seem novel enough that we find Lando returned to smuggling in 9, his absence from the Resistance makes it seem likely that he's returned to his role as Baron Administrator of Cloud City, or a similar position that perhaps sees him take a neutral role in the war. Okay, that could be. During the development of The Last Jedi in 2017, Johnson originally considered Lando for the role of the codebreaker that Finn and Rose searched for, a part that eventually became DJ and went to Benicio del Toro, or as I like to call him, Fellatio del Toro in this role. That was not a good role for him, and his name was DJ. That's the best Star Wars name they could come up with for him, was DJ. And he's also he's not an interesting character. He's not good. He doesn't do a good job. It would have been really cool to see Lando come back and have him be the code breaker that they went and searched for, that they hooked up with. That would have been a good way to anchor, as they say, anchor the old trilogy and the new trilogy together. You could have anchored them that way through Billy D as Lando, making him the code breaker, but that would have made too much sense, and that would have been seen as fan service, I think, and Rian Johnson wants no part of that. He wanted no part of that. DJ's mantra, "Don't join," is similar to Lando's position in Empire, where he betrays Han, Leia, and Chewie to Darth Vader. Although Lando eventually redeems himself in Return of the Jedi, it would not be surprising to see Lando jaded in the event of yet another galactic war. One of the most interesting angles Last Jedi explored with concern to the perspective of ordinary citizens is that the Resistance and the First Order are often seen as the same, and arms dealers make millions selling to both sides and prolonging a war with no clear heroes or villains. War profiteering may be a controversial position to find Lando in, but it's not exactly a far cry from where we've seen the heroes of the original trilogy end up. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. It's not a far cry from where we've seen the heroes of the original trilogy end up. So how can you say that? I mean, because what does that say? It's like the original trilogy's heroes have all sort of turned coat on all the progress they made throughout the original 3 films. All of the growth that those characters took part in, and everything they learned along the way in those 3 movies, has been forgotten when we meet up with them in this new trilogy. Yet, the sequel trilogy has quite admirably dealt with the past. There will, of course, be those fans still clinging to the expanded universe, the media clinging. The media now fittingly categorized as legends and placed in non-canonical state following Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm, who will expect to find Lando as a major rebel leader. In the Legends novels, Lando marries, has a son, and owns a mining facility while still providing frequent aid to his old friends in missions that included going up against a resurrected Palpatine and helping Luke search for Force-sensitive students while still having time for his gambling habits. All of that is very cool. All of this is very cool. So we have to throw it in the trash and subvert everyone's expectations. As one of the last few remaining original Star Wars characters, there's certain to be a large amount of expectation attached to Lando's presence in 9. I wonder why. We talk about the anchoring, because people want to be made to care about Star Wars movies. Imagine that. While the Legends canon asserted Lando's heroism, something expected after Return of the Jedi, the sequel trilogy has taught us not to give in to expectation. As Luke says to Rey in The Last Jedi, this is not going to go the way you think. That statement could be applied across this new series of Star Wars films, and it's a good rule to go by. This is not going to go the way you think. That could be applied across this new series of Star Wars films. It's a good rule to go by. I think it's a rule to go by so far, at least according to Episode 8. That was a good rule for Episode 8. It was a rule for Episode 8. Let's say that. You could take the good out. It's not a good rule, but it's certainly a rule that we find ourselves adhering to. It's not going to go the way you think. Because as much as internet speculation will position Lando as Finn's father or as a rebel savior, the reality will likely be something much more affecting and honest. Is that how he's positioning it? Is that what he's saying? Is that everything we've expected or wanted so far, it's been swapped out, not for horrible stories, not for stories that disappoint us, but stories that are more affecting and honest. That's all they are. They're more affecting and they're honest stories. So we should be happy with what we've been given because they're honest and they're more affecting. So they're not disappointments. That not according to Dick Newby. Lando has encompassed both the good and bad side of the galaxy, its selfless and selfish nature, and it's that narrative, the one that makes him human, that's more interesting than any legend. That's a return worth getting excited about. So there we are. There we are. Get ready for not the story that you expect from this man. Not the story you expect, but a story that's affecting and honest. You're going to get the affecting story and the honest story that you don't know you want, but you really do. And even if you watch it and you hate it, you don't really hate it. It's just it's affecting you. It's affecting you in a way that you didn't expect, and that's okay. That's what you should want as a fan. You should be fine with that. And if you have a problem, then this is what he would ask. He would ask, Land, don't you want me? Don't you want him? I want this guy. I would like this Lando. but I don't know if that's what we're going to get. I don't know if that's what we'll get in this episode 9, but we'll find out. We'll see. We're gonna keep following it, and it's easy to talk about Star Wars. I've found over the course of the past few months. Obviously, they've not been all recorded online, but I've had so many discussions about Star Wars. So that's why we're doing these videos. We're adding these videos into the channel because it's easy to talk about. There's news happening constantly within the Star Wars universe, and it's fun. You know, there's still hope for it, I think. So we'll see what happens, and yeah, I think we'll call it there for the evening. It's been good. It's been a good stream. I'd like to thank. Hold on. Wait. I can't get the. Damn it. Anyway, I'd like to give thanks for our sidebar. We had a couple visits to the sidebar this evening. You will see if you're watching this video back why we want to get more people involved in this chat for these videos when we go live, because the interaction is fun. You know, they take you into unexpected places, just like the new Star Wars movies. They go places that you don't think they're going to go. And but I like to think that when we go off to places that you weren't expecting, that it's a little more satisfying than just purposely ruining a conversation or something like that. We're not doing that. We're not trying to subvert your desire for good conversation and good discussion. We just we expand upon it, you know, and that's what we're going to continue to do. So please, if you're watching this after the fact, or the next. Oh, I think you meant we're the back seat of a Volkswagen. Yes, exactly. Nice. Thank you for the Mallrats reference. That is my favorite Kevin Smith movie, by the way. So you might find this this tidbit interesting. I proposed to my wife. I proposed to her on the Jaws ride at Universal when Jaws popped out of the water, as we were both big Kevin Smith fans. It was one of the things that we kind of connected about when we first began talking and dating, was our mutual love of Kevin Smith films. So I did that in real life. So you can either think that that's awesome or really sad. I think it's awesome. And if you're a hater, then that's fine. You can do that. But anyhow, please join us next time. Bong the gong for notifications so that YouTube can let you know when we go live. You can join the chat next time. You can throw in your comments, and we can get a little back and forth going. So thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you saying it's awesome. So we will be back next time with more. And like this video, comment on it. We will always comment back. And subscribe, tell your friends, share it. And we will be back soon, at the very latest tomorrow at some point. So have a wonderful evening, and we will talk to you later. All right, good night.